Hello and welcome to Drinks with Ron. I'm Ron, and this is my drink, the last of my Schlitz. Tasty though it may be. I'm gonna dive right into it, because this is not my first attempt at recording this, but after a lot of rambling, I want to keep it concise, make my points, and be done. As you may know, on Facebook, I stirred up a lot of shit about Braun. Mainly not about Braun. My argument isn't so much my problem with him, but my problem with the Brewers fans' reaction to this whole situation. So without further ado, roll the footage so I can do what needs to be done.
Know that people are dumb at a ratio of 1 to 1, and I'm just playing a hunch that 50% of the population's out to lunch, and they take that mental luncheon, they're in need of a cock punching.
I will admit I do like stirring up the shit because I like to. I love a good debate, even if I have to get into an argument to get that debate. But I'm just gonna dive right into Braun here. Had to take some notes because there was so much bullshit to sort through. As I say, let's go over the facts of the case first of all. Braun takes test. 2 cups of urine sealed in cups, then taken by a urine collection man that was supposed to be dropped at a FedEx box. Long story short, he says there's no FedEx that delivered after 9 or were open on weekends, blah blah blah. So it spent 44 hours. Braun's sample, that's P to the layman, his sample sat in a temperature controlled cooler in a basement of this urine collection man's house. Something he's done many times before in exact standards. Major League Baseball has since said they won't change the practice. So stays there. 44 hours later, he ships him off to Canada, where an independent Canadian lab tests and verifies that sample A and sample B test positive for elevated testosterone, and these scientists, under oath, testified that the samples were not opened, tampered with, or anything of the like. Braun appeals his positive test, and because there's a chain of command issue, meaning because dude left it in his basement for 44 hours, he gets it thrown out on a technicality. And here's the deal, okay? You obviously know where I stand on this whole thing. I'm saying he took it. But my argument, once again, is not that he's a bad person, that he's a cheater, that we need to slander him, that he should be suspended. I don't care. Exploiting the process and finding that loophole and getting out of it? Genius. Brilliant legal strategy. Awesome move. Smart thinking. Way to get out of it. I applaud you. Kudos. I don't think the guy should be suspended because, frankly, I really don't care about steroids in baseball. 15 years ago, I probably would have gotten worked up, hyperventilating to the point where I was almost in tears over steroids in baseball. Now, let's be realistic. They're everywhere. They've been everywhere. Cheating has been going on since before they had a name for the spitball. I don't care. So I have to get into Facebook and hear everybody in the state of Wisconsin going absolutely apeshit. Braun clears name, wrongly accused, Braun's exonerated, he's clear, oh what a mistake, he dragged through the mud. No, literally, none of those things happened. His name was not cleared, he was not exonerated. Those 2 tests that they have, they still both read positive. He took it, he failed it, that is that. I don't have an issue with it. I honestly don't. I used to be a giant Sosa fan. I used to have 2-3 jerseys hanging up in my closet. Sosa versus McGwire was one of the greatest things to happen to the sport. That's actually what brought me back into baseball after the whole strike thing pissed me off. So I don't really have a problem with performance-enhancing drugs because, let's face it, as long as baseball has been around, there has been cheating. Spitball, sandpaper, scuffing up the ball, a little bit of pine tar in your glove, maybe have your catcher scuff it before it comes out. For all I know, Cy Young was knocking down 5 fucking milk jugs at a carnival sideshow on the weekend and they're giving him credit for a fucking win. I don't know. I wasn't there. The point is, I don't have a problem with cheating in baseball. It's just par for the course and I don't care. So I'm not trying to say, Braun's a cheater. That's not the point of what I'm saying. If you want to deny it, fine, but that's where my issue comes in. Braun gets the test, or essentially escapes the consequences. He doesn't beat the test, he gets it thrown out in a loophole, and then he goes on to have this 13-minute speech that I was seething by the end. I had to re-record this because I was so fucking livid after I watched it. 13 minutes. Today is a day for anyone who's been wrongly accused. Wrongly accused? How are you wrongly accused? Both your tests still remain positive. Still. The scientists that testified didn't come back and say, oh yeah, you know, those tests were tampered with. No, they testified the exact opposite, that the tests not only weren't tampered with, but were fine, read correctly, sample A, sample B, both match, both test positive for testosterone. This is by an independent Canadian scientist, where if you want to talk about impartiality, Canadian and scientists would have to put you right up at the top when it comes to something about American baseball. Because I really don't think they have a rooting interest in this case. And these scientists verified they were not tampered with. Now, I am not a scientist, but I'm pretty sure I could tell you that a little plastic cup full of urine with a lid on it and a piece of plastic sticky tape that's holding the lid on, pretty sure I could tell you whether or not that seal's been broken. And I don't mean just whether it's broken. I mean, you take your thumbnail and peel up the edge of it, unseal it, and possibly drop in some testosterone, reseal it. No, not altered. They're saying the samples are fine. So, for anyone who's wrongly accused, bullshit number one. What else was it? Now, I admit, there's a lot of rumors and shit that were flying around, and he may have had to combat that, and that I could see where he'd get the PR battle from that. He spun this whole press conference like a frickin' politician who just got busted with his hand in the transvestite jar. I mean, I'm not saying he should have come out and said, I'm guilty and I got away with it. How do you like that? But as I say, I'm not doing this from a point of bias, and I'm not doing it to try and paint Braun up as some big evil guy. I'm just saying bullshit. The facts don't bear out his words. I'm just saying, it pissed me off. I understand giving the guy the benefit of the doubt, alright? And it does suck that all this shit got leaked, because what should have happened, he should have taken the test, failed the test, appealed the test, beat it on the loophole, and the whole thing should have been gone before anybody heard about it, and that does suck for Braun. I'm not going to sit here and keep you all say that, oh, everything. No, okay, that's shitty. Shouldn't have happened. But that still doesn't change any of the facts. You know, so here's what I want from you Braun supporters, alright? You know where I'm coming from. I'm not budging. I'm not even trying to change any Brewer fans' mind because I know better. All I'm asking is for an honest assessment from Brewer fans. Okay? Used to be a major Cub fan, loved Sammy Sosa, still got a pack of rookie cards up in my closet. I've never denied that Sosa juiced. I understand Brewers fans want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but here's the deal. You want me to budge off this side here where I am? You guys are over here, you want to get me more towards the middle? Here's what I need from you. Take out Braun's speech, his wonderfully coiffed hair that looks like Giorgio Tsoukalos from Ancient Aliens, which is strike number one on Braun, I gotta admit. But here's what I need. You want me to play along with this game that Braun could conceivably be innocent? Here's what I need from you. Number one, I need motive for someone, not named Ryan Braun, to make his test come up positive. Not only do I need a motive, but I need a clear-cut gain from this. Okay, so let's start right with motive. Actually, let's go to 2. The other thing I need is I need opportunity, but the opportunity must be accompanied by a mathematical degree of possibility. Okay, opportunity. Was opportunity there for Braun's sample to be messed with? Yes. 44 hours in dude's basement. Some of that, at least, I'm sure, unsupervised. I don't think Captain Urine Guy sat there and watched it for 44 straight hours. So yes, it was unsupervised. There is an opportunity. Here's where mathematical degree of possibility comes in. Let's follow this out. Let's extrapolate this to its very end and see what logic you have to follow to assume Braun's innocence. Okay. Urine man takes the urine, puts the urine in his basement, temperature controlled cooler, as protocol, and it's there for 44 hours. Somebody's going to come in and tamper with the sample. So you have to completely know where it is, when it is, how it got there, when it's going to be there. Then you have to break in, do the whole thing, get in, taint your pee, get out of Dodge without leaving a trace. I'm going to go ahead and not put a check mark next to mathematical degree of possibility there, because even if all those things happen, the jars, according to a scientist, were not tampered with. Okay, I'm willing to admit that that doesn't mean something couldn't have happened. They could have switched the entire jar and not tampered. Huh? I'm with you guys here. I'm going to give them benefit of the doubt. Don't think so. Somebody would have to have the exact cup and stickers to seal the top that Major League Baseball uses. You can't just fucking empty out a Schmucker's jar, put your tainted urine in it, send it up to Canada and think they're not going to notice, okay? You'd have to have a matching jar. Not only a matching jar, you'd have to have some urine tainted with testosterone. I don't know where you'd find such a thing unless the guy who's doing it happened to be hopped up on testosterone himself. Not looking very good. So let's go with motive. Who has motive here? Does the urine storing dude have motive? No. In fact, for all the talk about Braun having a great track record, and he does with those tests, I mean, hey, he's taken 100 of them, he's failed 1. It's pretty goddamn good, you gotta say. The guy clearly wasn't cheating before. But this urine guy has picked up and delivered far more urine tests in the last 15 years than Braun could comprehend. And there has never been an issue with one of them. First time it's come up. He said he's done this, storing it at his house and dropping it off later hundreds of times. Apparently those tests all came back negative, so nobody went to the length of fighting it on the loophole. So this guy's track record is longer than Braun's, not to mention the fact that the motive, what's the guy going to do? He's going to taint Braun's pee for the recognition of being the guy in Wisconsin who got Braun suspended? And possibly lose his career? Doesn't make sense, okay? What if somebody's going to pay our urine guy off? Okay, I can see that. Hey dude, I hate Ryan Braun. I'll give you $500,000. You slip this in his pee. Okay. Not saying that's beyond the realm of possibility, but let's look at the facts. You're going to pay off the urine guy? Believe me, this shit's being investigated as I sit here drinking a progressively warmer Schlitz. If he's got $250,000 just showing up in his bank account tomorrow, an investigator's going to find that. There's going to be a paper trail. If dude's getting paid and in on this, first off, like I said, he risks losing his career, so he'd have to get a shitload of cash. But it's just, there's no gain with the motive. So I see opportunity, but not a mathematical degree of probability or possibility. And I don't see a motive, period. Major League Baseball doesn't want Braun in trouble. Like I said, blonde-haired or blue-eyed, olive-complected, good-looking white guy playing in a small market in middle America. He is what they want to market. They're pissed that he got off. Well, they're not pissed he got off. They're pissed how he got off. They're happy as shit Ryan Braun's not in trouble and that he'll be playing 50 games and increasing MLB's revenue. But they're pissed off at this whole loophole that's out there because now people like Manny Ramirez, who needed that hormone because he was pregnant, they're going to hit that loophole. It's going to start happening over and over. So baseball's not mad Braun's off. They're just mad how he did it. So I literally don't see anyone with a motive unless, hear me out here, maybe the scientists, Canadian scientists, maybe they're mad about the Expos leaving town. Thought they'd get some revenge by randomly picking a guy from a team in America to tank his career because they're mad about the Expos, so they're going to cover up the whole thing and then lie about it. Not looking real good. Not looking good there. Okay, but here's another one. Let's say the tests themselves, let's say there's actually an error with the testing facility, right? Oh yeah, sample. No. 2 samples. They both read the same. I could go with machine error. Believe me, I would eat that up if there was one, if the samples were different. There's 2 samples. They read the same. So then the next thing that Brewer fans will tell you is, oh well, Major League Baseball's never had a testosterone level that high before. True, Major League Baseball hasn't, but this very lab testing Braun's urine has had that high. 4-to-1 triggers a positive. Braun's was at a 30-to-1. This lab has seen an 80-to-1. What I'm saying is an elevated test level probably points more towards guilt than innocence, so you guys probably shouldn't be using that argument anymore. Especially when said lab has had 80-to-1 testosterone level as testified by scientists, guys who I picture in my head having the white coats on, and probably gray hair, looking all scientisty, probably with some glasses. Canadian. That's the point we're at. When you have to keep following this thing to its logical conclusion, the only logical conclusion is that the test was failed. I mean, yeah, chain of command. It was, it didn't go by protocol. Nobody's saying the tests were altered. Nobody's saying his samples were messed with. Nobody's saying any of that. Braun's team didn't even argue against it. It was put to me that it was pointless to argue against it because you wouldn't win. True. That may be true. But if I honestly thought my test was tampered, I'd still throw that in. I mean, that's not coming up here. Jars are there. Little plastic tub of urine with a piece of paper with a sticky backing over the top designed to keep the lid on the urine. Those aren't broken. Alright? I don't know one more I can tell you. 2 samples, they test the same, independent laboratory, samples verified, not damaged, not messed with. I don't understand where the leg to stand on is. The only thing is that all the facts haven't come out yet, which I agree. Okay, all the facts haven't come out. And I'd look pretty goddamn stupid here shooting my mouth off now if in 2 months facts come out that make me look completely wrong. The reason I'm shooting my mouth off is because I'm not worried about that happening. The ongoing litigation that Braun's referring to has got to be from his end. Probably against whoever was spreading rumors about STDs and such. Which, okay, I give you, hey, have some legal battles against people starting a rumor, I guess, because I don't know who the fuck else he could possibly have a legal battle against over such thing. Case is closed for Major League Baseball. There's nothing else to talk about for them. I mean, there's no suspension. Why would there be ongoing litigation from them? They don't care. They want this shit under the rug and on. So the only ongoing litigation would have to be from Braun and his team. Maybe that's legit. In my head, it sounds more like an excuse to not have to give the details because the details don't support the things you're saying on the podium. The guy took something, he failed a test, and got out in a loophole. That's all I'm saying. I will stand by it till the day I fucking drop. Because there is not any evidence that supports anything to the contrary. Rip me up, Wisconsin. There it is. If you're not cheating, you're not trying.